going to take me seriously because I didn't have any formal credentials in this thing that I was doing. But funny enough, during my MBA, a former client of ours at Geisen reached out to us. They wanted, funny thing, they wanted their secretaries trained on how to actually use WordPerfect at that time.
Wow.
So I did that. And, then, when I was working at Geisen, I didn't have any idea of what the billing was. I didn't know anything about how much they charged. I just did my work and, I enjoyed doing what I was doing, just helping people to understand that, okay, this was the future, helping them change. When I now did this project for these guys for 2 weeks, when I billed them, I made more money than I made in a year at Geisen in 2 weeks.
It's crazy.
So, and that was it. So I got my co-founder, because what we wanted to do, we're trying to go to Lagos for an event, which was the biggest technology event in Nigeria at that time, CTO, organized by the US Embassy. Told him, look, you know what, this thing is what we should be doing. We're still in school, we're both students. And that client was the Federal Department of Agriculture. They had a local office in Benin. Wow. They also had a project where they funded initiatives in farms, in plantations. So one of their project, it was actually backed by European Economic Commission. So they got these farms to invest in technology and training to improve their processes. The people pay first, then the EEC refunds them what they've spent. So the Okomo Oil Palm Company was one of their projects, and it was the largest agro-allied company in Nigeria at that time. It looked at in Benin. So, the guy who was in charge of the project, Frenchman, Mr. Delano, said, okay, look, I'm going to introduce you to these guys. So you need to go there and talk to them. If you convince them, great.
Yes.
But you need to buy into what you're doing, because I did it for them and they were very happy. So they told me to go to the farms. I remember the first day trying to go there. Those guys had no, like the roads were bad. You could only get there with a tipper. I had to climb into a tipper. Like Salil is in Australia now. His company was just acquired by IBM. I was telling him, look, you know where we came from? We came from entering tippers into the jungle. So I almost, many times I almost turned back. I said, what am I doing? Yes. My mates are in banks working. Why am I climbing tippers to go into the forest?
Yes.
But it turned out the best thing that ever happened to me. Went there, discovered that, look, it was completely greenfield. These guys, they had computers they were not even using. I revived it for them, trained them, made so much money, in 1 month doing that, that I even bought a car when I was still in school.
Wow.
So, then we now decided, okay, look, you know what, let's just see what else we can do for them. We ended up building an ERP for them from scratch, automated everything in the plantation. And the luck we had, there was a CEO that came afterward, Mr. John Whitechurch, who has been one of the best influences in my life. He just basically, he told me, look, he could hire a foreigner to come do this. But if he does that, he's not going to help the local people learn.
Yes.
So he used to be the former CEO for USD Foods. He was one that started Mr. B.
Wow.
Became the CEO. Yeah. So he's in Cornwall. He's one of my, I owe it all to him, because he gave me that opportunity. Told us, look, I'm giving you these opportunities to start.
Yes.
And that was it. We made all the mistakes, we learned, we built, and it was, of course, much more cost effective for them to do that. But the thing is that gave us opportunities. And he was the one that also started the Okomu Football Club that led to people like Yakubu Egbeni, who's now a Premier League footballer now.
Yes.
So he just said, look, just do it. So we stumbled, we made mistakes, and we did everything. He left eventually. He retired. Then my co-founder also had to move to South Africa, got married. I was the one running the company alone. They were acquired by a Belgian company, SwiftaCorp, who wanted us to get what we were doing in 4 farms all over Africa. And I didn't know how to scale. I didn't know about the internet. I was using the internet because, I was introduced to it. My uncle bought a computer at home. We had, using it for browse. I didn't realize that this thing was going to fundamentally change businesses at that time until it happened to me. This Indian company could remotely deploy their solutions and communicate with the this Okomo was inside the bush. What's the connection between a farm and the internet? That time, that was until an Indian company now came and helped these guys do those 4 farms and took our lunch. So our company died. They had 21 people when that happened. So that was a massive lesson for me. When that happened, I had to now go back. Then my uncle had left banking, started this company called Bromley. We were doing, we did acquire the bank, the Nigeria Bank at first. Then did investments in with GSM companies like did Econet, going there, helping him do all of that, learned a whole lot about finance and investments and all of that. But I was still drawn towards tech, but I didn't realize that that whole experience of starting Econet was going to now affect life fundamentally much later, because learning how you build something as big as that from scratch, and also understanding the nitty-gritty of telco was what was very, very useful for me when we started doing the next project. I had to revive my company again. We did an SAP project, Project Delta, has created some SPV. That was a disaster, even though it was a very profitable project. But eventually, I now ended up going to MTN, worked with the South African partner. We built something which should have been a payment switch, which became a virtual airtime distribution product that they used for about 15 years in MTN Nigeria. That was doing about 1/3 of their volumes. So it was also deployed in 5 other MTN opcos. Then MTN now decided they were going to do mobile payments. Get a license in Nigeria, but they got licenses in other parts of Africa, Uganda, Ghana, Cameroon, DRC, Cote d'Ivoire. Sorry, not DRC, Brazzaville. They got in about 9 markets at first, but eventually I think about 13 markets. We're lucky. Same way they allowed us in Okomo to just run with MTN, because the partner did not have the resources to actually deploy. MTN said, you guys do everything for all of us. So we did that and we maintained it. So that was at that time was the biggest project I had ever done. Then I had a team that we had to ramp up very, very quickly from 0 to 60 people.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it was insane, but it was also a phenomenal learning experience. Then I actually now go to see Africa for what it was. The company, the partner we're working with, that actually built the product Fundamo, they were acquired by Visa in 2011.
Okay.
When we were acquired by Visa for $110 billion, and I got 0 from it. So then I'm like, okay, look, you know what? Maybe I should start startups that. So that was when I started my investing journey. That 2011 was just a kick in the pants. But I also knew that there were gaps. There were a lot of things that we saw that were still not done.